Hello guys and welcome to this video. I've got a lovely new Seiko Pepsi to share with you, and this is a custom made watch based on the SSK047. Now let's just look back at those two. These two watches here on the screen, the SRPL 99 and the SSK047, came out in the last month or two. They're limited to 7,000 pieces each, and I just found it so fun that Seiko actually got the Pepsi, the true Pepsi brand on their dial. So I wasn't totally happy with the design, especially of the black one, because I really wanted the silver case. I want it to look like a Rolex Pepsi with that Pepsi logo. And the other design, which kind of has the right color scheme, is way too small. So that's a significantly smaller watch. It made for smaller wrists. You can't get the parts for it. So I needed to do something about that. So here it is. I've been meaning to make this for a while, and this takes the actual dial of the SSK047 and places it inside one of my higher end Rolex style cases. The case and all the bezel parts I'll go through in detail as to where I got them from in case you wanted to build your own. And this very watch will be available on my own store, svkwatches.ae, as soon as this video is live. And I actually will be able to make a few more of these, custom made to order. These dials are likely to be limited, just like the actual original Seiko watches. And just so you know, I only use genuine Seiko dials. So I use various other parts, like the case Seiko don't make, this bezel type Seiko don't make. But if a part says Seiko on it, it came from an actual Seiko watch. Now in this case, I wasn't able to buy the SSK047, but I was able to buy the genuine original dial. And this is pretty sure the world's first mod like this, because we've got the traditional Rolex style bezel with the blue at the top rather than the red at the top, which is something that Seiko did, which I don't really like. We've also got ceramic, we've got sapphire, we've got the GMT hand and the Mercedes hands like the Rolex. And interestingly, this dial has blue lume, which I'll show you later. We've got an S-signed crown. This is Watch&Style's case and bracelet set. So the case measures 42 across. I'll give you a thickness check in a minute. The strap size is 20. So it does have the kind of proportions of the older Rolex sub, not the latest version. So this has the slightly larger lugs, but I think proportionally it just works really, really well. I always go for the double dome sapphire crystal here, rather than the flat one with the Cyclops, because Seiko dials generally aren't really made for Cyclopses. I know someone's going to ask me, please can I get that with a Cyclops? The answer unfortunately will be no, because the date is already quite legible. Let's just move the hands out the way. We've got a screw down crown now as well, not something that you get with the standard Seiko. But the date is a little bit more legible already. So if we put a genuine working Cyclops on this date, it makes it look ridiculous. It makes it look way too big, takes up the whole Cyclops. It just distorts it too much. I honestly think that the combination of a sloping bezel and a double dome sapphire is the ultimate best choice to create a high quality Seiko mod that obviously looks like the Rolex, but isn't trying like to be like it in every possible way. The very cool thing with this dial though is you get that Pepsi actual branded licensed logo on the dial, which is something that Rolex of course will never do, and unless it's customized. Interestingly, this is of course made in Japan. If you see this dial and it doesn't say made in Japan, it is definitely a fake one, because all of that model line would have been made in the same place. And you've got a blue tint to the hour surrounds. Now the blue unfortunately isn't exactly like the Rolex blue that we have on this bezel, but in certain lights it just adds a little bit of interest to the dial to sort of remind you that it is a special and a rare piece. Now, speaking of the bezel, this is from DLW Watches, which is by far the highest quality ceramic bezel inserts you can buy, in particular this Pepsi insert. This insert costs, I think, in the region of $100. The reason it's so expensive is because the red color is extremely hard to find in ceramic. I've tried multiple different places, all of them disappoint apart from DLW, so they're my go-to place. They never have deals on this part, you just have to pay the price, but it is totally worth it. You'll see a lot of Seiko Pepsi watches advertised online for a couple $100, but those will all basically be fake Rolex watches with a Seiko logo stuck on. This is made with an original Seiko dial. I'll show you the movement as well. This is a 4R34 GMT, exactly like what you'd get in the SSK model. You've got a sapphire case back as well, so it's a sapphire sandwich essentially, and I will share the thickness in a moment. We get a milled clasp. It isn't signed, but I quite prefer a higher quality clasp, so even if it isn't signed in this case. You've got a screw down crown, which I need to screw back in there. So you can see this is going to have 200 meters of water resistance as well compared to the standard Seiko 100. If you hadn't already noticed, I have changed the dial position, so the crown is at 3 o'clock to match this Rolex style case, which is the slim case from Watch&Style, and it really doesn't have those kind of overbearingly wide sides, but it does wear a little wider than your typical sub-style case. S-sign crowned as well, and of course the bracelet is solid with screws for links there and a little bit of micro adjustment. Overall, this is my first time ever making this dial into this style of watch, and I was really excited to try it. Finally got around to being able to order this dial, and I'm sure they're not going to last very long, so hot-foot it over to my store if you want to pick this one up. It will be, of course, a premium because of that rarity, but for the next couple of weeks, I imagine I may be able to source a few more dials if anyone's interested. Please reach out as well. You can email me with your own custom requests. All my details are on my website, and follow me on Instagram too. That's at svkwatches.ae. So let's have a look at the Lume shot. So just to charge it up with this UV light, this one has actually got blue lume everywhere except for the GMT hand. Now, so far I've not been able to find a GMT hand in that style that is as strong lume as everything else. In day-to-day light, you won't really notice that difference too much because it does appear a bit more extreme on the camera. But really strong lume. The hands are from Watch&Style as well, and they are really good lume, exactly like the original Seiko dial. So nice strong lume for a really, really pretty GMT. So just going over the operation quickly, you can of course set your bezel to a different time zone. You can also track the original 24-hour scale on the chapter ring. That's an engraved chapter ring, so you can still track 3 time zones actually with this watch. It does have the bezel clicks, and it is unidirectional, as in it won't turn anti-clockwise because this is originally a sub-style case. Generally people prefer to have the clicks. It makes it a little bit more solid. Unscrewing the screw down crown, you can obviously set your time, and you can also set your GMT hand independently on a 24-hour scale. So that's how you would set up your GMT timing, and then the date, you can quick set the date in that position. Also pop it back in. Hand winding gives you 40 hours of power reserve. You can see the rotor there will move and charge the watch when it's on your wrist anyway. But I've tested this and it's well within spec, around 4 seconds, plus 4 seconds, I think it was running at. So I'm really happy with the grade of this movement. And likewise, it is the standard Seiko 4R34. It is actually the same movement as the NH34 I can also use, but for this special watch, I wanted to have that Seiko logo on it, and that's really the only difference. ordering this watch or any custom made watch, you will usually receive it in a nice leather watch roll from me with my own warranty card. Obviously this doesn't come from Seiko. Seiko don't make this sort of level of watch. So I provide my own 2-year warranty on watches like this. And of course, you're welcome to reach out with any questions, requests, or even other mod options. For example, if you wanted this watch but with different hands, let me know. Or if you wanted to change the bezel, or even if you've got your own mod and you want to do some work on it, I can actually arrange that here in Dubai, even if you live overseas. So let me know what you think, guys. I think we're onto a winner here. Do you think it cheapens the dial by having the actual literal Pepsi logo on it? If you have a look over here, this is probably my best-selling watch of the year. That's the SSK001 Pepsi. I've done loads of these. I try to keep them in stock. I should have one in stock very soon on my store, but I can always make them to order. That's been my best seller, and that's a really plain black dial with nothing else on it. And it keeps a lot of the Seiko in the watch. For this one, I wanted to go all out Rolex style. So what do you think of this dial? Would you say that it's worth adding it to your collection? It is a limited watch and a limited dial. Unfortunately, Seiko never brought us this version in a steel case, which is why I wanted to do it. But let me know what you think. And if you've got the original Pepsi, let me know what mods you would do to it, because I can actually modify those too. Over on the left, I'll just leave you with a quick summary of the build process. I know some of you like seeing how these watches are actually made. So we start off, of course, assembling all the parts, making sure everything's there. Like I said, most of the parts came from Watch&Style. Aside from the dial itself, the movement, I took from an original Seiko SSK. We also had, the starting point was the case with the chapter ring and the sapphire crystal. The sapphire crystal comes from DLW. Once that was together, the dial and handset gets fixed. The dial actually needs to be modified to fit on a 3 o'clock position. And then finally, we case it all up together. And that first look, it was really impressive. I love it. I think it's great. I just love the fact that Seiko actually went and did this Pepsi branded Pepsi. I just wish they'd had the colors the right way around. I bet it's because they can't actually make it a real homage to another watch. They do have to change it a reasonable amount, but this is where us modders can come in and change it back to what it should be. This classic design is available on my store. Let me know what you think, guys, and thank you for watching.